Hi peeps, this is Michael Forrest on my movie review for Dune, the new Dune 2021, the reboot. Try to do a non-spoiler, then a spoiler, and go into maybe some theories too, and some of the messaging. Um, Good film. I saw it last night on HBO Max. My brother has an account, so I watched it. Um, Good film, great visuals. I liked everything had a purpose to it, the build up. Um, I only seen what my history with Dune. I only seen the '80s film. I'd say I only seen the '80s film, and it sucked. Bad acting, too much exposition, um, just over the top acting too, goofy cheese to it. The only good things, the worms looked cool, like tremor worms, I call them, the sandworms. And Patrick Stewart, I like Patrick Stewart. He had like a small role in it. Um, and then that's it. And it just sucked. And then seeing there was like this new one, and I was like excited. I like the director's very good with this new one. David Dennis Venelula Venom Venelove, and he's directed Sicario and a lot of good movies. Arrival, the Blade Runner 2049. So a lot of good visuals too with his movies and good movies that he's made. So I was interested in seeing this. I didn't know about the books until later on, and then it was summertime when my brothers came over and we had fun. They was come over for a week, fun with Dosh and Josh, and I've seen. We went to the library and we hanged out there. My brother seen Josh. He pointed out that it was like the free section. There's this free section, books or DVDs are there, or sometimes CDs too. It's by the bathrooms, free section, and he pointed out to me, Josh, that hey, look, the Dune books, and I'm like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, cool. They had the books there. It was 3, 4, and 5 that I have. And then I looked up more about the books too. There's 6 in the main series. There's 25 altogether. 25 altogether that are like prequels and more sequels to the universe. Interesting things to know, and while watching the movie, I noticed oh yeah, this is like Star Wars, and then this is like Game of Thrones while watching it, and then I found out the book came out 1964, and it inspired Star Wars and Game of Thrones, so that's cool to know that. And definitely watching the film, I felt that too, that it definitely inspired it. I gotta read the books too. This film definitely encouraged me to read the books too. I'm like, I gotta read them now. It was a good film. This new one, I liked how everything had a purpose. Nothing felt pointless. Um, there was a good. It was interesting with the reviews I was watching, seeing that you lose interest in the second half. I didn't lose any interest. I was pulled in throughout the whole thing. kept my interest. Even with the long run time, it didn't feel that. It kept my interest. There was only a part in the beginning that felt like a lull because the character too of Paul, and he's very much like Luke Skywalker. I see how Star Wars like took a lot from Dune. But as it went along, his character became better. There's a character arc for Paul, and I liked his character more as it went on. And there's this whole battle and fight between the spice as this main resource, also water too. The resources and everyone fighting over, and then this big war breaking out. The one group, Atreides, they're trying, and that's what Paul and his father and mother are, and they're trying to sign, and they agreed to with this other group, the Fremen. They agreed to go with them, this other group, and then be with them because they had the spice there, this whole spice thing. So they made this allegiance and trying to get more with the spice too, and more control and power. And also you can, with the Game of Thrones too, because with the politics, and then there's also backstabbings too, with some of the people, some other groups too, or like against each other and had their own agendas. So it's interesting throughout the whole thing. The acting was very good. I liked Jason Momoa. He really was charismatic, and really a highlight in the film. And I felt his bond, felt genuine, the bond between him and Paul. They felt like brothers, like he was his older brother. Like it felt like that was genuine. I can't say that though for what's supposed to be his love interest. There was like no no chemistry. I mean, he only sees her through visions, and then you do get her later on in the film. She comes with Zendaya plays her, but there's still no connection though. Like with these characters, it's like, oh, maybe it's in the next film. Oh, that's also something to point out. This film is part one, and it's also based on the first half of the book. There's going to be a part two. They greenlit it. I seen a thing. They greenlit it, so they are going to make a sequel. Definitely, they're making a sequel, and it's the other half of the first book too. To point that out, and there's also going to be a TV series on HBO Max. But yeah, the acting, that was good. Josh Brolin was good, his acting. But his character disappears. I was like, where did his character go? Because he was kind of a big thing in this movie at first. It was like kind of this big thing. This character disappears when this battle breaks out. You do see him fight a little bit, but then his character just totally disappears, and you just assume, well, maybe he died. You don't know. He could be in the next part. But that was bad, that I would say, because it's like, oh, like he never existed. And I'm like, what? No. And he was like a big part. He just disappears. That was bad there. I was genuinely surprised. This movie isn't super serious. There is humor into the film, too. I was surprised with that. I did get good chuckles out of it. with Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa brought some humor into it, and so did Oscar. I can't say his name. Oscar Isaac. Yeah. um, and his acting was good too. But yeah, he brought some humor into it too. I was generally surprised with that. But yeah, and their acting was good. I'd say everyone is. Batista too was good. The villains just needed more to them. There was, you get it. They're bad. Yeah. Another thing, maybe it should have been rated R than PG-13 to get the brutality more done well, because you didn't really feel like you felt somewhat of it, but it needed more of that brutality and maybe a little more dirtiness to it too. I would criticize that. Like it needed a little nitpick there. Like you can be a little more brutal, because those villains like with Batista, and like they're supposed to be this big like animalistic, supposed to be brutes. That, and you get some of that, but you don't get, you need a little bit more, I felt. But the Valmir character too, he was like good as the slimy, weaselly character, kind of this slimy character villain. Um, Good acting there too with him. With Paul, the main guy, he did his part. Like, he wasn't great, the actor, but he wasn't bad either. It was interesting to see with the reviews, because they said either he was like great or awful, but I was like, I'm in between with it, with the actor that played Paul. I'm kind of like, yeah, he was all right. He did his thing. Great cinematography too. A lot of landscape shots or wide shots. I love that stuff. I ate that up. Um, Good music too. It was interesting with the reviews saying the music isn't great, but it is good. There is some good battle music too, because they were saying, no, there was no good battle or action music into it. There is with the bagpipes too. I thought that was cool when they put bagpipes into the score, or it's some of the battle sequences. I thought that was cool with that. Oh, and there's this ship that looks like a dragonfly. This like helicopter dragonfly thing looked cool. The design. But I recommend seeing it. It was a good movie. That's my non-spoiler part, but now I'm gonna go into more spoilers. I recommend it. See it in theater or HBO Max if you have that, or go to the theater. Definitely, it's collection worthy. I'm gonna buy it on DVD. Wait until the price drops, but I'll buy it on DVD. Definitely have it in my collection. But yeah, now spoilers to go more in depth with it, and some theories, because like I said, I love how everything has a purpose to it. There's like a little mouse that has purpose into it. You wouldn't think that, but yeah, there's a little mouse that has purpose into it. And it comes back into play into the story. I thought that was really cool and neat. And it's a symbol of hope for humanity too. The little mouse, it can survive in the desert. Hope for humanity. and which the Paul is like hope for humanity too, symbolizing that, and also Paul staring at the bull statue with the bullfighter pulling him in. So it's pretty much like Paul being pulled into this whole thing because he has these visions and being pulled into this war too. So even that had like meaning. So it was like cool with that. Um, but yeah, it took a lot from Star Wars took a lot from this. The whole chosen one thing with Paul, and even learning, he has to learn the ways of the desert, like force. There's messages in this movie. The messages of you need to adapt to your environment. There's that message I can see in there. Also, accepting your destiny, there's a bit of that, but then also you can change your destiny. You make your own destiny. It's also that because Paul went against his visions too in the film. But also, this one vision he keeps seeing could be a warning sign of the dark path that he might go into, because that's what the whole ending has. This, he kills his first person he kills, and that can send him to a downward spiral down to the dark side, pretty much the dark side of the Force thing. Like, you can go there, become this evil like leader. You see it in him like just killing people and burning bodies and being this like ruthless leader. So it's interesting with that. Like, will that happen with the next part, or if they make another film too? Will this happen? It's interesting with that, or will he change it and become a good leader? There's also an interesting thing. The sandworm stands and just stares at Paul at one point, and you wonder, what does that mean? It just stares at him. Does the worm, because it's throughout the film, like these people know Paul has this presence, that familiarity and presence to him. So does the worm sense that too? Like, oh, he has this presence, like he knows, oh, this person, even though it's a worm, but yeah, it's but but noticing, oh yeah, this person is special somehow, or this person, there's something with this guy. Even the worm can sense it. But also because from the other movie and then the books, I heard that he becomes a worm or something too at one point. So it could be that too, hinting at that. Or because it hints at the end too, riding the worms, these sand people, the Fremen ride on worms too. And Paul has to learn their ways, and also the brutality too. He has to. That's another message. Like, he has to not adapt, but become that too, for survival, fight for survival. There's also that message, and pretty much those people are like wild animals. Or there's like an example. It's crazy with a sparrow that got in, because sparrows get into the shop, right, that I work in. But yeah, it came into the meat room and it was eating beef. It was crazy. I was just trying to shoot it away. I'm like, oh no. You wouldn't think with these innocent little cute little bird, but no, yeah, it was eating the beef. I was like, no, oh no. It was like so much for innocence. I'm like, oh no. But yeah, that's to go along with it'll do anything for survival and food. And yeah, that's in this that message definitely in this movie too. In Dune, anything for survival and food. Scraping for resources and stuff like that. But yeah, I recommend this movie. It's really good. I was really surprised. I was hooked the whole time. Recommend it. See it. It's really, really good. And now I want to read the books. I might read one of the ones that I got. Um, but yeah, totally recommend it. Red box it too, if you can. But it's definitely worth a watch. Oh, and also I would say it's the most audience, because people would say this is not a movie for everyone, but actually, I felt like it is compared to Dennis's other films that he directed. Like the Blade Runner movie felt not for audiences. This one felt like for audiences. For me, it felt like it was easy to get into. It didn't feel any disconnect. I would say maybe it needed more character. That's another flaw thing, like more to characters. And I heard there is more to the books about character with the characters. That's another flaw I'd say with the film. It needed more. With some of the other characters, needed more development or into them, more writing. Um, but yeah, I'd definitely recommend it. See it. Really good movie. Another theory too with Paul could be a false prophet too. He couldn't even he not even the chosen one. He's kind of, and that it does seem like a theme, like he's forced into the situation too. But yeah, watch this movie. I hope you enjoyed my review. You can like this if you want. Comment. Definitely comment if you have any discussion about this film, dissecting it in any way, its themes, or any theories on this. Please comment and let me know. And also let me know what you think about the film. Did you like it? Were you bored? Because there's some people said they found some of it boring. I didn't find it boring at all. I thought it was very interesting. Let me know what you guys think, and hope you enjoyed this video too. You can like this if you want, or subscribe to the channel if you want. But yeah, I'm gonna have more of these videos up too with the movie reviews. Do this. I hope you like this. I know it's not great, but I'm trying getting this out there. You have a good day, peeps. Alright. Bye.